You know how when you come across an essay question that seems too clever for its own good, you envision the writer tooting their own horn somewhere, toasting to their gigantic brain? Or maybe you're not a cynical like I am. Either way, when you see an essay question that's like, if you were a tree, what kind would you be? Or describe your ideal dinner party with 5 figures from history, you might have an immediate negative reaction. I do. Now, this applies to graduate school essays and some supplemental essays. Obviously, this is not for the Common App essay, but I wanted to address some quick tips to contend with these look how smart and quirky our school is type essays. First, let's pause and consider why they would even ask something like that. The obvious answer is that admissions want to see who you are beyond your grades and accomplishments. The classic, we just want to get to know you. My take is that it's an opportunity to demonstrate your creative thinking applied to an uncomfortable situation. It's like if you're in an interview and they ask you, how much would it cost to wash all the windows in Baltimore or something? They don't really care, right? They want to see your logic in crafting an answer because there will be times throughout your career when you're thrown into uncomfortable situations where you'll have to demonstrate creative thinking. Take these prompts as an opportunity to showcase your unique thought process and characteristics. So my first tip would be to respond to these questions with that goal in mind. Can you think of a response that demonstrates your confidence and creativity? For instance, if the question is, you have 3 wishes, what would they be? There's nothing inherently wrong with saying, I want to end world hunger, I want to cure cancer, and I want to have world peace. If you get the opportunity, those aren't 3 bad choices. But for this essay, how many people do you think will respond with something like that? How many people will choose something they think the admissions council wants to hear instead of something that showcases their creative thinking? When they throw you a curveball, consider how you can respond similarly. The next thing I would consider is, are you keeping your personality and focus? If you're applying to a business program and there's a question that's like, what's your ideal dinner party look like? And you list 5 business leaders you can learn from, you're not really adding much to your application. How can you think outside the box? Maybe one of the invites isn't even a person. Maybe you invite abandoned and hungry pets or something. Is this making sense? Sometimes I think there's a tendency to get frustrated by these questions and say, well, that's stupid, and respond literally and boringly, which I totally get, but don't fall into that trap. My last tip is to utilize the same strategy for these questions as standard application questions. You need to consider what the admissions officer is looking for, whether your answer is boring, and what values you need them to see through your response. So if you get a silly question like, what's your favorite childhood toy and why, use it to showcase values that your application needs but were absent in other essays. For example, maybe the rest of your application doesn't do a great job highlighting your compassion. Pick a toy that you played with others and tell a story about your joy in sharing and making sure your friends had a good time. Something like that, maybe. Really just keep in mind that when schools are asking this, it's rarely a throwaway question, even if it seems bizarre. And you'll do yourself a disservice if you show that you can't handle responding thoughtfully to a curveball. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Chris from Mooshly.com. I have an English bachelor's with a creative writing concentration and an MBA. I'm a consultant and professional writer, and I've helped many students improve their essays and get accepted to elite academic programs and institutions like Ivy Leagues, medical schools, law schools, PhDs, and graduate business programs. I frequently get asked for writing advice, so I publish some out here to help you for free. I've also written a very thorough college essay introduction guide I highly recommend you check out. It's designed to be actionable and can get you started on your essay in minutes. Click the link in the description to download it for free. I routinely publish practical videos like this to help with your college applications and life on campus, so if you found this helpful, subscribe now to make sure you catch the next one. Don't forget to grab your free college essay introduction guide from the link in the description, and I'll see you next time.